Hey everybody, what's up? And welcome to another show of Home Slots Fun. Today we'll be sharing three proven winning tips on slot machines. And while we wait for people to come into the chat, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Simon?
I'm doing good myself.
Awesome.
Getting ready for Denmark. I'm a little nervous, but I'm super duper excited.
Denmark's fun. I've never been personally, but I've had some friends that have gone, and they tell me I have to go. So, yeah, let us know how it is. I think we're still going to try to do the show when you're over there, so we can have some time to talk about your experiences there. I don't know. Do they have casinos there? I've never even looked.
They
They're probably
actually do have,
strange.
they actually do have casinos there. And I don't mind being up at 1 a.m. Don't mind being up 1 a.m. Getting ready to party, doing a live stream.
There
And
you go.
I'm curious, what have you heard about Denmark that you really want to go?
Um, I think mostly the coffee. They talk about the coffee. If you're a coffee drinker, that's the place to be, apparently. And that it's just so laid back and safe. You can just walk around, and there's the little cafes and shops, and I've been to Paris and I've been to England, so I've got a little bit of that. But I heard Denmark's like just the place to be. Everybody's so relaxed because they get so much from the government. Just they get you know 2 months off a year. Like it's crazy. You have a kid, you get off for a whole year and paid, and this everybody's just so happy and laid back. I'm sure there's downsides to it too, but that's it's a happy place to be. So I think you'll really enjoy it. But yeah, I'd really be interested in the casino. They probably have those fruit machines like they have in England, and I never can figure those out. I've watched. I don't know if you've ever watched those on YouTube before, and
Have
they're still confusing. They're really confusing. But I've always wanted to play one just to say I have. But you know, anyway, maybe if those are over there, you could sneak your camera in and do some filming.
yep, going to be doing some filming. I definitely want to film some machines. I definitely want to get, and I definitely got to do. I got definitely got to figure out how to do a little some like undercover filming.
There you go.
Hey Club Mikey V, hey Bronze, nice to see you.
Hey, Mike V, glad to see you there. I've been watching your channel. I've been catching up because I just I just saw your channel the other day when you posted it, and I've been catching up on it. I love it. I love video poker, so I might have to do some. Maybe we'll do a challenge or something that because I can load it up on my G23 in here. We can do some video poker challenges or something.
Yeah,
It's a fun game.
definitely. Yeah, do you think I could pop in and do? Do you think I could pop in and try a video poker challenge?
Yeah, sure. Oh, that's right. You have a Game King. I forgot about that. Yeah, so we could. It is a Game King, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, we can have a 3 round. How's that? Sounds good.
Heck yes, it's gonna be down. I can get that. I can get that video poker to a 20-cent denomination up to $1 denomination, and we can go
Okay.
and we can go hammer at it.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, video poker. Before we get started on the three things, I think that um, video poker is probably one of the best things you can play in a casino for a table, slot table game, basically, because the odds are very much in your favor. They're usually always set at around 99.5%, and that's actually one of the few that can go over 100%. I think it can go up to 102%. But you have to play good strategy. There is a consistent way to play, and Mike's channel does a really good job. He does a really good job of showing you what you should go for on the different types of games, because every single one of the 5 card draw, whether you're playing bonus or you're playing deuces wild, your strategies are a little bit different. So if you really want to learn a game inside and out and have a good edge and play a machine, that's the best one to play. I know a lot of people have success with that. So
I would definitely like to talk about video poker for one of our shows.
sure.
I'm not very familiar with it, but do you think we should go? Do you think we should go into the 3 proven tips?
Yep, sure. And these are not going to be like made up tips or anything like that. And you're probably going to think, oh, those are cheesy. Those aren't tips. Yeah, well, they are. So the first major tip before or how to win in a slot machine and enjoy yourself is to set your budget. And I think that, whenever you go to or plan to go to a casino, um, if you're going for a day trip, set your little, set a budget for that day trip. Like I said on the last show, Leave your ATM card, your access to credit cards, checks, all that stuff at home. Don't put it in your car. Leave it at home, so it's very difficult for you to go back and get it. And that's for people that sometimes have a hard time controlling, the urge to go get more money out. And trust me, it's very easy to fall into that trapping. That's why casinos put ATMs all over the casino floor. They want you to, walk by and say, yeah, let me get some more money out, And like I said last week, the only machine that really pays the most 100% of the time is the ATM. So, but if you're going for a day trip, take a certain amount of money, whether it's $500, $200, $100. It doesn't really matter. It's whatever you feel comfortable with, knowing that you will most likely lose it, but you never know. It may be one of those things that you get excited and leave. So, and we'll talk about that because that's tip number 3. If you're going for a multi-day trip, let's say you're planning on going to Vegas for 3 to 4 days, or sometimes I hear people go for a week. Trust me, between me and you guys, a week in Vegas is way too much. It is way too much. After 2 or 3 days of constant staying up late and not getting any sleep and eating junk food and all that, you're going to be ready to come back home. So spend a couple days, but you can still leave your stuff at home, your ATM card, all that kind of stuff, but plan a budget for each day so that you can really make it last. Because I'll tell you, the worst thing to do is to get off the airplane and before you even check into your room, go and lose all of your bankroll for gambling, because you're going to regret it several days into your trip when your friends want to go play some slots and you can't because you blew your bankroll, and you might feel like, oh, well, now I have nothing to do, so let me go hit the ATM and get more money out. So, if you're going to be doing a multi-day trip, pick what your daily budget is. Try to hide it from yourself, put it in a book or put it in your suitcase somewhere, stuff it in your shorts or whatever, just to keep yourself, from going past your budget. Another thing is, if you do have a safe in the room, a lot of the Las Vegas casino hotels have safes inside of the room. Put it all inside of there and leave it in the room. So take your budget downstairs and don't come back up for more. Or just take a part of your budget downstairs and make it a hard, a decision-making process for you to come back to get more cash. That's really what it's about. Because you get into the cycle of playing machines, and maybe you have 2 or 3 people sitting next to you playing, and it gets really exciting because everybody's hitting bonuses and you're hitting bonuses, and then you run out of cash. You're going to be wanting to continue that fun, but it's important to have a cool off period so that you keep your head level and remember where your budget is before you just go crazy. It's very easy to do. The slot machines and casinos are laid out specifically to do that to you. And so you have to be the strong one to decide when is enough and have that willpower to stay good in your head with, wherever your money management is at the time. So step number 2 is what machine to play, right? This is it's part personal choice, and it's part what kind of win are you looking for. And I think that comes into 2 different categories. You always want to play a slot machine that you're going to have fun with. I think that if you go into a casino and somebody tells you to play a specific machine because it tends to pay better, you may not have that same experience. And if it's a machine that is not exciting to play, to me, what's the point? It may be a better one to play from, getting more of your money back. But again, slot machines are not a money-making proposition, and you have to keep that in your head. Yes, you can get wins. Yes, you can get big wins. It happens. It happens to lots of people, but it's not guaranteed, and more chances than not, that's not how it's going to happen. And so you should play a machine that you find exciting, that has a bonus that you enjoy. Maybe it has multiple bonuses and you'd like to see them and experiences. Each one has good sound. There are lots of people around playing and watching, those types of things. Yeah, they may be set at a lower payback percentage, but again, you're not going to really notice that in your playing session. You should just sit down and play within your bankroll and pick the machine that makes the most sense to you. Now, the other side of that is something we've talked about, I think 2 or 3 episodes ago, and that's volatility. And so that is one way that you can pick the type of machine that you want to play. There are two types of machines. There are ones that pay frequently but very small wins, and there are machines that pay infrequently but larger wins. Those are called volatile machines, and they are the most common that you can find inside of a casino. Most of all the video penny machines with bonuses and attractions and all that kind of stuff are typically very volatile. So you're going to be spending a lot of money. You're going to, you bet $4, you may get 20 cents back, 30 cents back, and all this kind of stuff. It takes a while to get something like a bonus, which is what you're really playing those machines for. And that's where you get the big, payback. So I've seen it a lot on those machines where you start out with $100, you get it all the way down to $4, you get the bonus, and in the bonus you win $96 and you're back up to your original 100. That's a volatile machine. It's taking a long time to get a good hit. Now the lower volatile machines are the ones that are like the classic reels, with low multipliers, like so double diamond, triple diamond. Where you get into the danger zone is like the 5 times pay, 10 times pay, even 12 times pay. Yes, if you do hit those multipliers, it's a pretty significant win, but you're going to be playing and putting a lot of money into that machine before the potential for that to happen appears. And so that's up to you. What are you going for? Do you want to just spend your daily budget trying to go for a big win? Maybe you only like to play alone and just get a free drink and enjoy your drink and hope for a big win. Maybe that's you. So that's what you should do. Maybe you're a social person. You like to play with other people around you. You want to make it last. You may want to have a couple of drinks, that type of thing. Then sit down at those higher volatile machines and hope for a big win to come. I'm sorry, lower volatile machines if you want the gaming session to last a little longer. Now those can still pay big amounts. Don't get me wrong, but most of the time it's just going to be small little wins that you come in, And the third thing is knowing when to quit. So this kind of goes into the first thing with your budget. If you've used up your budget for the day, stop. Don't gamble anymore for that day. Go do something else. In Vegas, there's plenty of other stuff to do, believe me. Casinos will make you believe the only thing to do is to play slots. That's what they're pushing you towards. That's what they want you to do. There's the pool. Those are starting to open now. I know for the last 2 years they weren't open, and that really was a bummer to go there and not have a pool. But the pools are open. The bars are open, the clubs, if you're into clubbing, all that stuff is starting to open back up. But even off the strip, I've talked about this before, the pinball museums there, it's a fantastic place to go. It's very inexpensive. Most games are $1 or less. You go in and you put a 5 in the change machine and get a bunch of quarters, and that lasts for 30 minutes to an hour. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of nostalgia for me because I like that kind of stuff. But I see a lot of people going in and out of there that, probably have never experienced pinball machines or old arcade games and all that. So that's fun. There's Red Rock Canyon, which is just west of the strip. It's about maybe 45-minute drive. There's hiking out there. It's beautiful. It's kind of a tough hike. I kind of gave up on the last one we did, but that kind of stuff exists. And so don't feel like you need to come to Vegas and just keep blowing through money, because you can, and it's easy for that to happen. So you should always know when to quit. If you're not having fun, even if you still have budget left, quit and go do something else. If you just got a big win, even if it's a hand pay or something crazy just happened, don't keep playing. Wait for your hand pay to come, even if it's going to take 20 minutes because you've never hit a hand pay before and they have to do whatever, put you in the system or whatever. Don't resist the urge to start playing again, because that's what they want to do. They want to, make it last a little longer before you get paid. So you just keep playing while you're waiting. Go do something else. Let your head calm down. Believe me, it makes a big difference. That euphoria is a nasty thing. You think that you just hit something big. It's going to happen again. You're just going to keep going. And that's where you can kind of run into danger. So that's kind of those are my 3 winning tips. I'm not necessarily saying you will win when you come out of playing a slot machine. You can, and people do, but the way to truly win is to stay within your budget, pick the machine that makes the most sense to you, and then know when to quit. and when to just walk away and go do something else and come back. I get it. Slot machines are a lot of fun. That's why I personally own them, because I don't like gambling with money on these things because I know what they're designed to do, but I love playing them. So, it's they keep making them like that. They keep making them more and more exciting, and you should go and play them, have fun. But if you remember those three things, I promise you, when you leave, you're going to be excited with yourself that you came back with some money. Or if you lost it all, at least you knew that was your budget and you didn't go back and go, overextend yourself, by going to the ATM or, I've seen people sit at ATM machines trying every single card that they have in their wallet, trying to get more money out. You don't want to fall into that trap. And believe me, it's pretty easy to do. So, if you remember those three things, I think you'll be in pretty good shape and you'll have a good time. And you know what? If you come back with more money, now you're going to have an even better trip the next time because you can up your budget, have even more fun, those types of things. So think about that while you're there. You just hit a big jackpot. Well, pocket that money and plan another trip to Vegas in 3 months, and play on that money. It's money that you didn't even budget for, which is, imagine how much more fun you could have if you know that you're going with money that you didn't even know you had. So those are my 3 tips to really get the most out of playing slot machines in a casino.
Definitely really good. And what I really like about what you said is like the idea of just being able to relax in your future trips. And also, I do know that affiliate is very dangerous because when I'm at my house and I'm playing my own slot machines, sometimes what happens is I get a hand pay and I'm like, oh my gosh, I shall keep on going and going and going. And next thing you know, I'm at $0, even though the hand pay is invisible because I don't have an attendant to pay me at all. I'll show you. This is the closest thing. I know it's kind of weird. This is the closest thing I have to slot attendant. So I technically don't get nothing, but I play down the rest of the bankroll, and I can get to 0 really quickly, which is something very similar that can really happen to you in a real casino. I don't say hi to Money, hi Marcia, hi Club McVie, Super Squirrel, Oklahoma, Casino Review Slots.
Hey guys. Hey, and I saw Mike, you're going to be in Vegas. It's awesome. Where do you usually stay? I'm just interested in that. My favorite, I've said it before, but New York's probably my favorite. Just, I love the atmosphere there. I don't know what it is, but it really does feel like New York. They really did pull it off with the street. Like you have the streets with all the cafes, and they're like miniaturized, like the high rises, and the coaster is pretty fun, although it's a little rough. All those things. It's just, there seems to be so much more to do there than most casinos. And, since I don't, gamble with money, I like to go do those things. But I do a lot of watching, believe it or not. I sit around. I still, even when I don't put money in the machines, I still go around and watch all of them because I love all the new games. And, that's how I learn. And that's how you should learn too. We've talked about that before. If you want to play a certain game, look it up on YouTube, see if somebody else has played it so you can get a feel for, what the rules are, how it plays, how often do the bonuses come, those types of things. YouTube's great for that kind of stuff. I got to say, it takes a lot of the mystery out of, sitting down in a game that you've never seen before. And I always say that you should learn as much as you can about the machine. I understand it's mostly dumb luck. You're just pushing a button. But if if you go in with the knowledge of volatility, like we talked about, that will help you to decide how much of your bankroll to put into that machine before you should get up and leave. Because it may be one of those machines that you're either going to win right away or it's just going to suck you dry. And you don't know that until you play it or see somebody else play it ahead of time. So, hey, that's awesome, Super Squirrel. Sweet.
Congratulations. And also, congratulations, and that is so cool that you got married at New York. I also do want to add that my biggest pet peeve is when people say, oh, go play this machine because somebody told me to play this machine. Oh, try this machine. And usually when I do that, I know it's a superstition. I just don't have any luck. When the moment I try playing a game that somebody's like, just go play, you'll win, I get nada. Like, especially, like, I know it's not all the time, but because it's like all random number generators, And all like on like and like my weird thing is like I not mind when people say go play a specific game. If I request it like during a live stream, like when I'm like, hey everybody, let's go play another game. What game should I play? Like when I request go try a different game, and when I make the one who says like go play a different game, who like ask people, I don't mind that. But when people just come up to me and say, hey, you should go play that machine that's winning, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean that's it's people. I think it's okay for people to say go play this game, but what they should not say is go play this game because I guarantee you'll win, or that machine is hot over there. I've seen people on it all night winning. That's when you shouldn't take the advice. But if people say go play a game, it's a lot of fun, or I really had a great time on it, or the bonuses were a lot of fun, I got to pick this and this and do that, that's when you should go play the machine if somebody says it that way. But if you listen to your friends or something like that, I think it's okay. But you got to be careful with influencers, especially on YouTube, that will go and just say, you got to play this game because it just pays the best every time. Always play this game. That's when you got to be careful because you don't know where they played it at, what the machine payback percentage is, what denomination they played it at, how much bankroll they put into it. Those are the things that you probably don't know the answers to because they didn't volunteer it. And that's the stuff that you should really listen to. So, if somebody, it's actually very simple, guys, with slot machines. It's, there's no, like, they cannot be manipulated. I can't say that strong enough. They are built to not give the player an edge in any way, shape, or form. They are money-making machines. There is no special science to figuring out which machine is paying well and not, when it's going to pay well and not, where it's located, what day of the week it is, what time of the day it is. Those myths have been they've been going on for decades. I've heard these for decades, and they're all false. None of that stuff is true. It doesn't matter if they say, well, I was watching a slot attendant and he was in there messing with the reels. Was he changing it so that it would not hit a jack? No. Machines you can't mess with them. I mean, if I go and open one of these things and move the reel, as soon as I close the machine, it's going to realign them. There's no way to trick it into doing one thing or another. And there are so many checks and balances in place that prevent any kind of tampering. Every single thing that happens on these machines is logged. There's a log of every single event. The door is opened. Somebody kicked the machine and it made it jump a little bit. All of those things are recorded in the machine log. And if anybody was trying to tamper or manipulate the machine or anything like that, the log would show it and it would set off alarms. And believe me. So the real science to slot machines is that there isn't a science. They're dumb. They're just random number generators that are, you push the button, you get a number, it looks it up on a pay table, and that's the result. That's it. It's not time of day. That machine at the end, I've watched people play that and it keeps winning. So I can't wait for my turn to go play and win on that machine. It's just, you may, but you may not, as equal as you will. It's the same random chance. So you just have to be very, very careful with listening to information like that. And my advice is always, the question is, how do you know? Why should I just listen to you? Well, I know what I know because I've owned these machines and have programmed them for 4 or 5 years now. But that doesn't mean I am the definitive solution or the definitive answer to all of these things. Do your own research. If you go to Google and say, do cruise ships pay better on the first day, and you're only getting an answer from one person on YouTube, it's probably not true. But if you have multiple people backing up yes or no, that's the advice that you should go for. Do your own research. Don't just listen to somebody and then spend your money and go make a mistake. That's the worst thing you can do. And believe me, they're not going to feel sorry if that happens to you. You can try to comment on their videos and say, yeah, you loser, look what you recommended I do, and I lost $1,000 last night. How am I supposed to get that money back? You said that I should play the machine at the end, that it would pay, and it didn't. He's just not going to post that comment or, whatever. So just be careful with who you're listening to. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Even if it sounds logical, do your own research, because a lot of stuff sounds logical. Oh, cruise ships will only pay you on the first day that they're out to sea so that they'll get you enticed to keep gambling the rest of the trip. That makes logical sense, but that's not the truth. That's not what happens. The machines are programmed. Nobody's opening them to reprogram them during the trip. Believe me, those machines were programmed when they first got on there. They're not being touched for percentages. They're staying the same the whole trip. So just that's all I'm saying is do your own research. Get the truth that you can find. It's tough. Believe me, it's tough. I sit at home and I watch YouTube videos and I hear stuff that's false being spread around, and it hurts me personally because it's wrong, and it's not it's totally different in this world. Because here, let me give you an example. You may go to a grocery store and you overhear somebody in line saying, "Hey, they're putting a Starbucks across the street." And you think, wow, that's cool. And so you go home and tell your family, and then your family tells their friends. And suddenly it's a rumor around town that they're going to be putting a Starbucks across from the grocery store. But it was a rumor, Nobody's really physically being hurt by that. Unless you're a Starbucks fanatic and you really were wanting that Starbucks to be there. But, a rumor with slot machines and money is totally different, because gambling addiction is a major problem in the United States. And when you go in with bad information and you're spending money, that's when it's dangerous. And that's when I don't want people to just listen to something and think that they can accomplish the same and spend money that they probably can't afford to lose because they think it's a sure thing, or somebody told them that this is the way slot machines work and this is how you take advantage of them and how you know which machine is going to pay. And, this one has a high progressive, so you should play that one because the progressive is going to hit very soon and has to. Those things are just all over the place, and there's no definitive way to go and look up. So I can do what I can. I know Simon does the same. We're trying to get the truth out the best we can, and it's important. So anyway, that was my ramble. I'm sorry. Let's see. We had some questions come in, I think.
All right. So before I forget, I do want to say that I won't say any names at all, but there was one interview I was watching, and as I was chatting, I was questioning, how do you come up with this method? How do you come up with this idea? This is what happened when I tried it. And that person did not answer any of my questions, but then said, well, Simon, your machines at home are different because the machines at home, which is absolutely not true. Because number one, these machines were made for the casino floor right out of the manufacturer. Number two, these machines, I cannot do any tampering with them, because if I try to, the machine would shut down, and it would not simply work because of all the security encrypted measures these machines have. And then chat, Randy Moore says, or if somebody says, I put 1,000 in this machine and it's ready to play, run.
Yeah. Yep.
Then we also got something from Quad Zoo. Hey, Simon and HomeStop's Run. Love the discussion on how to be more responsible. Stopping after a big win is hard for me. It's difficult to stop if I win right away.
You're not alone. They build those things to do that. I mean, that's what slot machines are designed to do. You get a big win, you want to keep playing. It's very difficult because euphoria is a real thing. Go do a Google search for euphoria and read about what that is. It is a brain, I don't want to say toxin, but it's like something that gets triggered in your brain, and it's very difficult for a lot of people to control that. It's not your fault. It's just the way humans are designed. Whenever something pleases us, and it's like that even when you're a kid, you're a baby, adults, anything like that, euphoria is what kind of kicks in, because it's that feeling of, oh, wow, this is so exciting. And the problem with that is when you're in that state, a lot of logic and reason just goes out the door. And so you have to walk around and cool down and let those euphoria levels get back to normal. And then you will find that you can reason with yourself a lot better. It's hard. I understand that, but it's the best advice that I can give, honestly, is get the big hit, wait there, sit there, play a game on your phone or something. It's just to buy the time till you get your hand pay, and then go up to the room, watch TV, take a shower, go off the strip, go to a bar, do something to just get it back to the normal levels before you go back and, put your money in. Because the euphoria will just take over, and you're just going to, your logic and reason is gone. So you're going to start doing reckless things like upping your bet, going to the high limit room with your money that you got on the hand pay, those types of things. It just spirals and spirals and spirals. So, just be careful. Best you can do is just be careful and take the time out.
Yes, and I also heard a story of somebody putting an entire grand jackpot back into the Dragon Link machine. And on top of that, I also heard a story. For me personally, for Euphoria, I was at the Vegas airport doing my live stream. All of a sudden, I was down to, I think I was down to $5. Bam, got up to $30. Instead of cashing out, you know what I did? Because I was so happy. I kept playing, zeroed out that $20 bill, and I'm like, dang it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the typical story, right? I mean, that's how it works. So, I mean, it's, and I mentioned this before, look it up on Amazon, guys. I think this is the most clever thing I've ever seen. I think it's called a casino bank or a bill wallet or some casino bill wallet or something. But it's a little metal box that it can be locked, and you leave the key at home, but you can fit bills inside of it, like hundreds and stuff. And so I think this is one of the best ways that you can probably control yourself is, when you get the money, let's say you hit a hand pay, we'll take everything that's out of your wallet or purse and stuff it in there, and then play with your hand pay money the rest of the trip. You're going back with your budget. That's great. Then you can't open it. I mean, you probably could because they're not really secure. But I mean, the point is it gets you to prevent yourself from, the euphoria again taking over, and your logic just going out the door. So, yeah, I mean you don't want to have a big win and go off a cliff by just losing that win within minutes, because then you get to the depression sets in. You feel like, oh God, why did I do that? Can I turn back the clock? Those types of things. And that's not a good place to be in, because then you're going to start getting into the mode of, I need to chase that and get that win back, that type of stuff. So.
Yes, and that's really dangerous. We do have two things from the chat. Monica Sanders is asking, what about advantage pay machines like Ocean Magic? Then Vincent says, best advice I can give you is read the glass. If you cannot understand it, move to a different machine and read how many credits to unlock the bonus. Some bonuses only unlock at max bet.
Yeah, so the first one, Ocean Magic, I haven't heard of it, so I can't really say anything about it, unfortunately. I'll look it up on YouTube after this and see if I can figure anything out about it. But I mean, that's all I'll be able to look at is just on YouTube. And what was the other one? Can you put it back? Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is true, Vincent. And there's one guy on YouTube. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's horrible at reading the glass, and it just cracks me up. Well, why did that pay? I don't understand why that paid. That doesn't make any sense. Well, look at the glass. Like they put all of the payout information on the glass, or if it's a newer game. Simon, can you mute yourself like the keyboard? Thank you. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
It was like keyboard.
I know it. It's all right. I know what I'm saying. So, yeah, look at the belly glass. Like if it's the older style machine, you'll see the wins at the top and sometimes below the slot machines, like where your knees are. If you don't see it there, it's a video slot. There's going to be somewhere on the screen that says more help or see pays or something like that. Click that and you can scroll through and see. I've seen a lot of people play games like Top Dollar or Wheel of Fortune or Pinball, betting 1 credit, and then they see the bonus symbol land, and then they look up and they're like, well, why didn't I get the bonus? You have to be betting max bet. That's the way it works. You've been losing out this whole time. it's very important that you learn the game before you play it. I can't stress that enough. There's plenty of stuff on YouTube. Like, here, I'm going to say it. There is no excuse, because you can probably find any game on YouTube and somebody's playing it. And that's the best way that you can learn, you know, how the game works, what to expect from the bonuses, what's a good thing to pick. Top dollar is a very tricky one because it does have some skill involved. And by the way, I'm doing a very long video. I've been working on it for a month, but it's basically everything you need to know about top dollar from ground up, when it started, all the different variations, how the try again, take offer buttons, compute, all the way down to which are the best to play, which are the most likely to hit the 1,000 credits, all that stuff. So if you're a top dollar fanatic, I hope you enjoy that once I actually get it out. It's taking a while. But anyway, those are the types of things that people need to pay attention to. And just by reading the glass and understanding the game, you're going to get the most out of it, and you're not going to lose out on things. So Vincent's absolutely right. Know what you're playing. Your game, you're putting your money in. Like, don't you? I mean, you would not walk into a poker game with seasoned veterans and you've never played poker in your life and put $100 into the game. You wouldn't do that, would you? I don't think so. So why do you do it in the slot machine? You should look and see what you're playing for, and what the wins are, how to get the bonus, how to trigger the bonus, how to increase the chance of the bonus, how to get the progressives. All those types of things are going to be printed somewhere on the machine, and you just have to look for it. So
yes. And I know, and I do and sometimes when I'm on the machine, I'm really notorious for not reading. For me, honestly, I'm very notorious for not reading the glass, especially when I'm live. There's this last night I was playing this aristocrat game, and I kept seeing these 3 coin symbols, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Why not being the bonus? Sorry,
do you need 5 or something? Yeah.
I need 5.
Yeah.
Then I don't want to say hi to I don't want to say hi to Casino Lady Slots and Benjamin Adams and Kim and also Kaz. Psych. Yes. Alright, Psych. So Monaco says, I have the bank you're talking about and I love it. I never go to the casino without it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't. It's the most clever little thing. And yeah, Quad Zoo, definitely get that thing. It's invaluable. I think a lot of people have problems knowing when to quit, and that's a good way to just put money in, and you can't get access to it. Yeah.
Yes, and also I'm also wondering, do you find the old school aristocrat machines to be very volatile?
Depends on the game. You'll just have to look at the game and see. I don't know specifically on Aristocrat, but it doesn't really matter who the manufacturer is. It's the game design. Some are, here's a perfect example in the IGT world, which I know better than Aristocrat. I'll just say right off the bat. But I think most people by now know about, what is it, Mystic Queen, I think it is.
Yes.
Where you get 3 spins during the bonus, and it has 1 wild reel and then 2 wild reels and 3 wild reels. That bonus almost always pays way more than 10 times your bet, but is excruciatingly hard to get the bonus. I've loaded that one on my machine and I've played for 30 minutes straight and never got the bonus. That is probably the max level volatility that I can think of in a game. Mega Vault is another one, has huge potentials in the bonus, but it's very difficult to get the bonus. And so that's super high volatile. So those are the games that if I were playing, I would just play a couple of spins, not even $50 worth. And if you don't get it, don't chase it, because it's just so difficult to get. It's one of those that you want to get right away. And if you don't, just go play something else. And Oklahoma Casino Review Slot says some machines do not require max bet to win jackpots either. Yeah, that's true. And in addition to that, some of those, if it says it on the glass or in the help, that it increases your chance. So if you increase your bet amount, it increases the chance of those progressives to hit. But like I said before, I think last week, they can increase the chance by It's a very small amount, 0.01%, and put that on there to try to entice you to do it. There's no regulations as to, what the percentage better odds are. They can just say it and put it on there. So, be careful with that. If you are chasing the jackpot and you can bet 40 cents, go for it. I mean, I think that's a 40-cent bet to chase a $5,000 jackpot. You can't really do that on any other machine. So that'd probably be a good one to pick. So, and Kim C says, is that Diamond Queen? Is that what I said? Diamond Queen? What did I say?
Diamond
I might have
something.
said, yeah, I said Diamond something else, but I think Diamond Queen is what I meant. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And also what I really like about Dragon Link and other games that you can bet is especially with Dragon Link and Lightning Link, there's the fact that you're still eligible for that grand jackpot, even if you're betting the tiniest amount possible. And also for me, when it comes going for bonuses, I give it 10 20 spins. If I don't get nothing, I'm out of there.
That's a pretty good rule of thumb. I mean, that should always be personal, and it should be based on what you're feeling. If you're not having fun, get off the damn machine. That's I can't say it any clearer. Like, if you feel like you're not winning, it's not because the machine is in a losing cycle or anything like that. You're just not having fun and you're not getting a win. So that's a good time to get up and go play something else, and maybe come back to that one later. I mean, you can. But again, that's not a sign. You don't know when that's the case. That's the biggest message I can get across, is that you don't know that a machine is in a losing cycle or a winning cycle. There's no way to really tell. And so if you go in there and you do 10 spins, especially on a high volatile machine, I think that's pretty appropriate. If you don't get it then, it probably isn't going to happen. I mean, it could be on the 11th spin. You don't know, but you could easily just keep putting your money in there. And the high volatile machines are meant to do that. They're meant to take a lot of that in.
Yes. And for me, that's why I'm a little grasshopper. I had a casino. I'm always just jumping around. How I did have somebody. It depends on, it definitely, like you said, really depends on your play style. I used to be friends with somebody who I did live streams with, and every time I try to go to another machine, he'd be like, no, sit down. And I'm like, no, I'm going to another machine. He would have me play this machine for 10 minutes, and I was bored. Honestly, I was bored out of my mind because that machine was not bonusing. But now on the 11th minute, you know what? That machine got a bonus, and that person was like, yeah, right, you should, good thing you stayed. Which is actually another really big dangerous mindset to have, because for me, I was lucky enough to hit that button just right at the right time with a random number generator on minute 11. But most times I feel that you'll not be that lucky.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I don't understand why this is the case, but the brain is a weird thing. We've talked about that a lot in this show, but I'm not even playing these machines for real money, and I'll get a big hit, and something tells me I should probably go play something else because it's probably not going to hit again for a while. Even though I know that's completely false, I still think that way, and I think it's natural for us to feel that way because of how slot machines are built. You assume, oh man, look at that, it has 3 double diamonds on the pay line, whoever hit this last. It doesn't mean that the next spin is going to be the same result. It could be. Your chances are very small, but they're small anyway, whether it was showing something else on the reels. So it's a psychology thing. They built these things to play tricks on your brain, and to come up with these myths. And I mean, casinos love this stuff. I mean, the more that you can hear from people saying, oh yeah, you should play at 2 a.m. because that's when the machines are the hottest, or overnight while you're asleep, they go in and tweak it so that in the morning they pay off jackpots. Casinos love that kind of stuff because it just gets you playing. Anything to get you playing, even if it's a false myth. That's why they don't correct themselves or put instructions to playing slot machines, when you walk into a casino. They don't do that. They love that stuff. So
yes, and also there's like some things there's definitely some sneaky things about some games, and they hide it on page 49, just like Wicked Wheel. And
Yeah,
also,
I remember you mentioning that. Yep.
I remember the infamous pay table. And for the slot machines, I find that's why sometimes when I'm like live streaming an aristocrat game and I can do 7 cents to spin, that's why I say I'm going to sit on this machine for the next 5 minutes, because the length of time does not determine if I win or not, only the random number generator.
Yeah. I mean, that's I don't know what to say. It's just the way it is. I mean, the RNG is constantly running. It stops when you push the button, and that results in a pay or not. And the payback percentage, and I still want to do a show just talking about. We've talked about this already, but we should keep going at it because I keep hearing weird stuff about payback percentages and how it works, and I think people still get way too caught up on that stuff. Um, the difference between 94% and 95% is not something that you will ever notice. It's not going to make any difference to you whatsoever. So if a $5 machine is set at 94% and a $10 machine is set at 95%, unless you're going in with tens of thousands of dollars to play with, play the $5 machine. Yeah, I understand it's a percentage lower, but this is over millions of spins of the machine. And I can't stress this enough. I have these machines on and I've played these things ridiculous amounts, and not one of them is close to the payback percentage that it's set to. And they have had, the Lord of the Rings I mentioned had 16,000 spins on it, and it's set at 90%, and it's sitting at like 68% right now. It's not even close yet. And so you shouldn't get too caught up on the payback percentage, because it's just going to make you do things that aren't outside of your budget or comfort zone. And
yes,
it's not worth getting fixated on that. It's a marketing tactic. A lot of casinos still put stuff, they'll have a bank of machines, and I know Circus still has this, and some of the downtown casinos I think still do, where they're like, these are guaranteed 98% payback. That's cool, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get 98 cents back for every dollar you put in. It's a 98. It's probably was put in there 10 years ago, and it's still sitting there, and probably not even close to 98%. But that's just what they're set to. It's a marketing thing. You just have to be careful and not just get so caught up on the payback percentage, because it's just going to fry your brain, and you're going to end up doing something that you regret. So,
yeah. And also, I do know that there could be a myth that could get a possible myth that could get from the possible myth would be, this older machine, that machine had that machine been sitting there for like years and years. Oh, look at the old school on IDT. Oh, that thing should be close to a payback percentage because it's been sitting here for years. That could be a potential myth right there.
Yeah. There's so many. I mean, there's myths, and then there's strategies, and unfortunately, some YouTube creators combine those. They say myths or strategies, and they're not. Strategies are things like we have talked about on this show about money management, know when to quit, find either a volatile or non-volatile machine. Those are strategies. Those are things that are fixed, just psychology things that you can do to better your play at slot machines. What crosses over into a myth is when you hear the stuff like, play things at the end of the aisle, or only play in the morning times, or don't play a machine that they just installed. Those are myths. Those aren't strategies. And so when you hear those things, it's sometimes hard to discern where that cutoff is. And the reason it's hard is because people are saying myths are strategies to winning at slot machines, and they're not. They're myths. They're intuitions. They're feelings. There's nothing that you can do as a human to determine those things. It's just the way they are. Even if a casino person told you, well, yeah, that machine at the end on this one happens to have a higher percentage than the one next to it. Yeah, that may be the case for that particular casino in that particular row, but that is not a blanket statement that you can use for all casinos. And even then, again, you're getting caught up on the payback percentage. That doesn't necessarily mean that one's going to pay you more than the one to the right of it. it has to be over millions of spins before you even realize that machine is actually the best one to play. The one on the right can give you a jackpot just as much as the one on the left.
Yes, and it's like really, it's like I cannot believe just how bulky it is to get from from a strategy to a myth. And also in the chat, Melba says just subscribe to his channel. Thanks for the link in the description. Quadzu says I've had 6 or 7 bonuses in a row on a volatile machine, very rare for me. And then Casino Lady slots, actually, like, Casino Lady slots and Oklahoma slots say, like, the Oklahoma slot says small payback percentages keep you alive and are part of the payout. And then Casino Lady slot says, I'm working on trying to only do 5 backup spins after a bonus and walk away.
Yeah, can you put the first one back up? That was a lot. I want to make sure to address everybody. I think, Mel, thank you for the sub. I really appreciate it, by the way. I think you'll have fun over at my channel as well. I do a lot of just random play. I have a list of machines and all the descriptions that the most recent videos I put out, I'm putting all the link to the games that I can play. So if there are any you want to see me play, just, add a comment and I'll do a video on it. Quadzu, yeah, 6 or 7. Boy, if you get 6 or 7 in a row on a Volatile Machine, you are a lucky day. That is a lucky day. I've had, on Top Dollar, I've had 3 bonuses back to back once, but I can't imagine 6 or 7. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. But it can happen. It can happen anytime. And what's the next one?
Definitely can. Definitely can. Just like definitely can. It definitely can happen, and you can even hit. And if you're very extremely lucky, you can even hit 6 grand jackpots in a row. This is Oklahoma Casino review slots.
Yeah, small payback that keep you alive are part of that payout percentage. Yeah, it's complicated to explain, but the way it works is, and I think we talked about this 3 episodes ago, but the way it works is that each payback percentage in the machine corresponds to a payback table or a pay table. And so if a machine is set at 90%, what you do is you have a set of random numbers that are possible from the RNG from 00000 to 9999999. And whenever you hit that button and it stops at RNG, whatever number that is picked, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it goes to that pay table and sees if that's a win. If it's a win, it'll say how much, 40 credits. And then it goes to the game logic and says, what kind of possible combinations can we show to give a 40 credit win? And then it randomly picks one of those. But the way it differs from when you change from, say, 90% to 95% is that there are a little bit more wins on the pay table. So you can imagine if the numbers go from 0000 to 9999, a large part of that is going to be 0 wins, 0 credits, right? And then you have all your wins stacked at the top. And the bigger the win, the smaller the number range is, with the top one probably only being 1 stop on the RNG. Whenever you have a higher payback percentage, they just fill in more possible wins, but the RNG stays the same. The RNG is still spitting out the same numbers regardless of what payback percentage is set to. It's just the payback table that comes into play there. It's really complicated to just say. I want to get like a whiteboard so I can draw it out because it's really hard to explain. But that's how they work in general. I think they get a little bit more complicated when you factor in bonuses and those types of things. But for the sake of trying to explain that, you should try to keep it simple, and then you can kind of build on the different variations of that with different types of machines and bonuses. So, but again, don't get caught up on payback percentage. That's always my story. Is just I can set machines in here I set them all to high because why not? But I can set them to very low, and I still get the same damn wins that I had at high. It's just a different set of wins that it's picking from. So
yes, and also I noticed that the machine that my blue board plays the exact same. If I accept, even if I accept, I wouldn't say maximum. The payout the maximum payouts, or like if I'm making a really big rush, trying to get everything set up, if I just like randomly click its random numbers, it's still the same payback.
Yeah, I mean, it's again the only way that you would ever be able to tell is to sit on a machine and do 100,000 spins, and then sit on the machine to the right and do 100,000 spins. Then you might notice that there are some changes, that there are some differences in the payback. But I mean, nobody does that. You know, those machines are set and then they leave them at that. I mean, casinos, look, they're they're making so much money on this stuff. Even a 5% net for them is great money. You know, 5% over the lifetime of that machine. Just imagine how much they're making off of that thing. Um, they don't really need to monkey with that stuff. They don't need to. They keep it as it was when it hit the floor, and for the most part, they keep it. Again, we're talking about Class 3 machines. We're not talking about the bingo machines. I have to say that because those are completely different, and maybe we'll do a video on those. But you know, Class 3 machines are the most common that you see everywhere. So those are the ones that I'm talking about.
Yes, and Casino Lady Socks says, I'm also working on trying to only do 5 backup spins after bonus and walk away with a win.
I think that's reasonable. If you have do it because you have a gut feeling that sometimes it always happens. Don't do it because a YouTuber says you always got to do a backup spin because it could be a big hit. It could, but it could also be a loss hit. But do it because it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like maybe there's another win around the corner. I should go ahead and just maybe play the rest of your credits out because you hit a hand pay or something like that. That's totally fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Just do it for the right reasons. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, and also there's like some times where I do 3 backup spins and I get absolutely nothing at all. It is so random, so unpredictable. And Muskie Allen is asking, can you hit the grand jackpots on minimum bets?
Depends on the game, but it will be printed somewhere in the game rules. Like Simon said, it could be on page 49. It'll be in there somewhere. That's why you should always sit down and look at that stuff, because I would hate for you to get the symbol combination that pays a grand jackpot or a bonus that pays a grand jackpot, but you weren't eligible because you weren't betting the right amount. You know, that's why you should sit down and look at those things. If that will be printed somewhere on the machine, they have to, by law, explain all of the wins, what you need to bet in order to trigger certain wins or trigger certain jackpots. All of that stuff is printed somewhere on the machine. If not in print, go through the game menus and read up on it and find it out. I don't think they intentionally hide that stuff. They try to put it on the button panel. You can see if you look down on the button panels, it'll have like little rings around, you know, if it's a video one, it'll have rings around like jackpot eligible, grand jackpot eligible. Look at those things before you place that bet and just educate yourself. So I can't answer that definitively. I'd have to be looking right at the machine because every machine's different. You know, different games have different rules.
Yes, and also when I look at the Mighty Cash button panel, I see a little ring around the last 12 buttons, and when I look at, and that says like that, and that you have to be betting that amount if you want to get the ultra feature, and at first before you said that, I initially believed that slot machines manufacturers were intentionally being sneaky about it, so that less people would hit the jackpot, which is like actually, when I think about it, completely false. Because when I think about it, if the casino manufacturer to be sneaky, everybody be playing minimum bet rather than going for the larger bets on the machine.
Yeah, and it makes sense like why some of them would say, well, your jackpot chances are increased by the more you bet, because that would make sense. Like that's you want to give them some kind of advantage of increasing their bet, and that could be one of the things they do. But again, you don't know that unless you look at the machine and see if it says that. If it says that you get a better chance, it could be a small chance. You don't know. They don't tell you what percentage chance it is. Then up your bet. But again, we talked about, I think last week, about chasing progressives. Excuse me. And that's, it's not something you should really do. In my opinion, it's dangerous. Progressives are meant to, especially the top level ones, they're meant to take a long time to hit. They're not so random in the sense of they have to hit once a day or once every week or anything like that. They can take a really long time. And you should never just chase those just for the sake of getting them, because you could probably put more into it than what the grand jackpot pays out. So
Yes, and I've seen people put $3,000 in to chase $1,000 major before.
I know.
It's not
Yeah.
a combination now.
It's like, oh, I won the major, right? Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Quadzu
And
says, I have seen. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, where are you going?
I was just reading one of the comments. Yeah, there we go. I've seen players on hot machines, usually very good payback. They don't move. If someone moves from hot machine, I will try it. Sometimes it works. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it will. But again, there's no such thing as a hot machine or a cold machine. It may seem that way, but it's just all about the timing of hitting that button and getting it on the right RNG at the time. There's no like fluctuations in the sense that machines are really hot, then they go cold and eat a bunch of money, and then they're really hot and then they get cold. That cycle doesn't exist. If it does exist, it's over a very, very long time, hundreds of thousands of spins. But there's no cycles, and there's certainly not ones that you can see and visually prove. That is what I call a coincidence. You saw a coincidence. You saw machines that were just happened to be paying, and that's not a fact. It's not factual that those are hot machines, and you should try to get on them as soon as possible. That's where it can be dangerous. Sometimes it does work, sometimes it doesn't. You just describe slot machines in general. That's how they work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, But there's nothing wrong with trying that. I mean, look, if you have that feeling and somebody's over there on a hot machine and they're winning, go try it. Go for it. It's fine, but just do it for the right reasons.
Yes, definitely 100%. What you were saying, it's like really tempting to see somebody like playing, winning a lot on a machine, and saying like, nope, not gonna be playing that today because that person just run and suck all the money out of the machine. But it's also very tempting on the same note, very tempting to go like watch somebody dump thousands of dollars into a machine, then I might be like, all right, I gotta try that because that machine can really heat up for me, which is completely false and completely coincidental. And Musky Allen is asking, is the random number generator connected to the volume level?
I can't believe Scott was able to run with this for as long as he has. I think every YouTuber has said that this is a joke, and he meant it as a joke. He's that kind of guy, it's a joke. Volume is not connected to RNG at all. Pretty much nothing is connected to the RNG. Players cards not connected. Game types not connected. Not even the game percentage is connected. RNGs are just constantly running. It's like taking, I don't know, a deck of cards and throwing a card out and hoping for the ace of spades because that's the top jackpot. It's the same kind of idea. It's just random. There's constantly running.
Yes, and if that was the case, I'd be blasting my slot. If the random number generator was connected to the volume level, I'd be blasting my slot machine at home to absolute no end. I'd be waking up the entire neighborhood party with my slot machine winning, if that was to be the case. But unfortunately, it's not. So Mason is asking, Musian is asking, how do you know when a machine is going to hit good?
You don't. Next question. No, I know I said that really short, but you don't know. You don't know when it's going to hit. And if anybody tells you otherwise, or anybody tries to sell you something or tips or strategies to say, I will tell you when a machine is about to hit, they are just taking your money. They do not know. You cannot know when a machine is going to hit. That would give you an edge over the casino, and they're not going to allow that. And game manufacturers do not allow that. They do not put that in the programming in the machines. You don't know when a hit is around the corner, as well as you don't know that a losing session is around the corner. You don't know either. They're slot machines. That probably should be the definition in the dictionary of a slot machine.
Losing machines.
Yeah, looting machines. Reverse ATM machines.
And then, oh shoot, darn it, I lost my train of thought. Let's see, shoot, darn it. Oklahoma Slot says the way to find if a machine is going to hit is put all your money in it.
Yeah, put your money in it and press the button, and maybe you'll prove your theory right. Yeah, you just don't know. You just don't know.
Mason does want to add, but the owner of the machine wants to know right when it's going to hit and how much right.
Nope, they don't know either. Look, the way it works is that a machine is purchased by a casino or leased. A lot of them are leased nowadays, but that's another story. Let's say that a casino purchases a machine, and they request that it to be set at 93% payback percentage. What they are saying is that over the lifetime that machine is going to be in the casino, it could be 100,000 or more spins, they will get 7% of all the money that goes in there. That's it. That's all they know. They don't know when it's going to hit. They don't know when a certain patron sits down and is going to get the jackpot. They don't know what day of the week the jackpot's going to hit. They don't know any of that. All they know is the bottom line that as long as we keep this machine in operation, we're going to get 7% off of that machine. That's it. There's nothing else to it. They do not know when it's going to hit. And even if a casino employee tells you that they know, they're lying. They are lying. I promise you. They do not know.
Yes, and also there's like this book that there's this one infamous book about that tells about how you're going to win. There's like this book that, and when you read that book, I know I'm kind of going off subject, but it's okay if I talk about this.
Yeah, go for it. I know which book you're talking about, so go ahead.
All right, so that infamous book, if you search the name up, I'll be saying the name exactly, but even that's why, because kind of nobody knows, not even that book that you can search up on Google. And what happened, and what the book says is it literally gives you a bunch of stuff. It talks about manifestation, and if you channel your energy just right, if you can really influence a random number generator. And then it also says, well, study the industry, look at what machines were winning in the past, now look at all the winning machines. It literally gives you 2 sentences, and within that book, then it goes on and talks about how you have to really know your machines, really know what machine is hot, and then it goes on. Then after that, and I'm just kind of rambling right now, but that's how the book really feels and sounds to me. It's just one big ramble of manifestation, one big ramble of just the ramble of how you gonna get away with playing high limit through manifestation. And if you a positive, if you focus all your positive energy at the machine will know who you are and will pay you big, which is an absolute lie.
Yeah, and he had a YouTube channel, and he would only post his wins and go around saying he knows how to trigger wins, but he's a master editor. You can.
Yes.
That's why he never went live. Think about that. If he went live, I think that his strategies would all come crumbling down because anyway. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that stuff is phooey. It doesn't make any sense. You can't manipulate the RNG by saying a prayer and pushing the button. As much as I'd like to believe that, you can't. You just can't.
Yes. And also there was a TikTok video that I did stumble across when I was going through my TikTok. It was of this person. I can't remember if they were male or female. So I used they pronouns. They held up $100 bill and said, all right, so I'll show you this method. What you do is you put this $100 bill in this machine. Then you hit the cash out button. Now you got your ticket. Put that cash out ticket in. Go to the menu. Go on a few times. Then all of a sudden, I was watching it. I rewatched it, and it was a really good edit because they spun, and as they were spinning, they cut the video. Then they cut together, as the wheel started spinning with 3 bonus symbols. And that person did say, well, that's how you get the bonus every single time, which is definitely extreme. Which is when I think about Hemos, yet once again, extremely dangerous because people will fall for it. People will not realize it is edited. People will not realize. People will not realize what is going on, which really increases the danger levels, and really can really lead to people trying that method and losing hundreds of dollars that they do not have.
Yeah. even more than that. I mean, they're sending this individual $250 a year to get access to these exclusive tips and tricks to beating slot machines, and it's depressing. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Believe me, I've tried, but that's not good. We're not going to mention names, Jane, but honestly, you probably know, or a lot of people in here. Somebody in here wants to say it. That's fine, but we're not going to say it. It's just, it's people have made money for decades over trying to sell slot machine tips. It's been a thing, and it's always going to be a thing. There's just no way around it. People are desperate to try to figure out how to win at slot machines, and it makes sense. They're spending money, they're gambling. They want to try to find the edge or something that's going to give them some kind of, assurance that they're not going to lose all their money when they play a slot machine. And it's very easy to produce a book or a website or course or anything and produce information that sounds logical and makes sense, because there is no way to go and just look up this information. You can't go to a slot machine manufacturer or a casino and say, give me the instructions on how these things actually work. That doesn't exist. And so whenever that kind of thing happens in this world, people take advantage of it and put out bad information and make money off of it. And these people are all gamblers themselves. So just, connect the dots. If they are charging for this information and it's so good, why are they charging for it? Why do they need money? They could just stay in the casino and drain them dry by all their slot tips and tricks for slot machines. They don't exist. And they know that. They do know that. But they're convincing you otherwise. And it may work or it may not. Just like we said earlier, slot machines, sometimes it seems like it works. Sometimes it seems like it doesn't. That's how they work, And so you should never pay anybody for any slot machine tips or tricks or anything like that, because there's nothing they can tell you to give you some kind of edge over a slot machine. I will make one exception to this. If somebody is offering some kind of session or slot machine strategies and they focus entirely on money management, how to focus on playing the right machines when it comes to your bankroll, choosing the right machines to play based on your bankroll. Those types of things are a little bit different. Those things are okay. And I would feel comfortable, getting the advice, from somebody on that. But if somebody says that they have some kind of like crazy, science or, oh, I used to work in the industry, or I used to, I've hit millions of dollars in jackpots. Yeah, but did you spend millions of dollars to get those? We don't know. You just got to keep that in mind. So, Muskie has a good question, actually. How do they adjust payouts on semi-mechanical machines back in the day? So those, to my knowledge, there obviously there wasn't RNG, because that did not come along until IGT invented the whole thing. But semi-mechanical machines were basically, think about it as only pay tables. Instead of having the RNG, you had just pay tables. And when you pulled that crank, the mechanical reels would spin, but they only had certain positions that they could stop in. And it was kept track of by some kind of leader. I don't know a whole lot about them, but there obviously was not an RNG. It was all mechanical. But the way that those things lined up is just basically how many. That's why the reels, like the old reels, have so many more symbols on them, because they would have like cherries like 6 times around it, where now there's only one cherry on a reel. It's because it just that's the only way they can control what would stop. It's just, like that, except even more than that. I mean, those old machines, very skinny reels, long, very big wheel. It had a lot of different combinations on it. So
Yes, and also on these old reels, what they do to make up for the fact that they did not have a random number generator is they had to reduce the payout size. And what they do is put like a lot of symbols on the reels. They don't need to do any winning. And what they do on these old machines is they literally load these reels with like symbols that are very low on the payout table. For example, this machine has like more oranges and 7s on these reels, so that I pay most likely to pay out oranges, which is the lowest pay. They not only have 1 7 per reel, each reel has 40 things on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it all changed. Now they can miniaturize everything, and because they can by computer can control where it actually stops instead of a mechanical, reel. It's all different now. So yeah, slot museum is fake. I'm not. I will call him out. I'm sorry, Simon, but slot museum and Mucho Dinero, they play at the home. They're not in a casino. Shows a lot of wins. That is not a realistic explanation or viewing of how your experience in a casino will be. So be careful. You can watch those for enjoyment, and please do. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But don't watch thinking that he's actually playing in the casino, and that's what your environment's going to be when you go in and spend the denominations that he's playing. You can get into some trouble there.
To be very honest, I really enjoy his live streams a lot because he actually shows that he's playing at home, which I really love about that transparency. And when he does like live streams, it's like really neat to actually see him sing at his cameras. And like for me personally, I really wish he would show. I really wish as he was doing videos, he would show the home casino aspect of it, like the fact that he's at his house, because it actually like really intrigued me to see somebody with their own machines. And I'd absolutely would love to see the full museum on display.
Yeah, and that's how he started his channel, by the way. And I subscribed and loved it because he's doing the same thing I'm doing. Collecting these games, getting these games. I know who he is. He's been on New Life Games forever. I know who he is. But somewhere along the line, he decided to kind of kind of shrink it down into this little, deceiving video series where he's not really trying. You can't call him out on it, basically. People believe he's in a casino winning all this money. And I just think that's unethical and wrong. You just have to be careful with what you watch. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to get into it. And Simon, with all respect, I don't want to, take over this thing with a rant that I have about him. But, I think transparency is very important. Just like we've been talking about with everything on this series, transparency is king when it comes to gambling. And he needs to be more transparent with that type of stuff, in my opinion. So.
So Brian does want to say, like, for our previous comment, Brian did say that's not true. Lots of players don't know the advantage games. So if a player finds plays and makes $500 with only putting in $20,
I guess I don't understand. I guess it was a while back. Go ahead and clarify, Brian, because I don't want to address it. I'm just not sure what you're asking.
Same.
It must have been something I said earlier, but I'd be happy to say yes or no.
Mason also wants to add. Mason also wants to say, what about small little casinos? Do they adjust to pay out year? Do they adjust to pay in a year, or can it be all in a week?
So they can, but there are some exceptions to that. One, in order to change the payback percentage of a machine, the gaming commission has to be present. So there has to be a representative there watching this activity. The gaming commission puts security tape on the chips or the door that hides the location where you put the E key in to change the denominations. And that can't be tampered with unless a representative is there. Two, it's for a lot of machines. Now, this isn't so true on the newer machines, but for a lot of machines, it's a very arduous process. The older machines, it takes 30 minutes or maybe 20 minutes for a seasoned tech to change a payback percentage. You have to replace chips. You got to take, boards in and out and all kinds of crazy stuff. They typically just do not do that because there's not a need to do that. They are making money on these things regardless. And it's not something that they really have any, drive to do. They just don't need to do it. They're already making a profit on that machine. Could they still do it? Sure. Could they still do it once a week? Sure. Do they? I doubt it. I really doubt it. Once a year? Possibly. There was a lot of talk around COVID that they were trying to get their money back because nobody was visiting, so they lowered their payback percentage. That was entirely possible. I can't say yes or no if they did do that or not. It would be a very laborious task to go and change payback percentages on all those machines, but I can't say whether or not they do that or not. But I think in general they don't mess with them because they don't need to. They're already making money on those things.
Yes, and there's also, and speaking of that, so there's people who can say that after the pandemic, the machines have gotten so tight and so hard to win on.
Yeah, I heard that a lot, especially during COVID. But again, it just could be because nobody's there, so you're not seeing a lot of people win. It's all perception based, you know. You just don't know for sure with that kind of stuff. But again, even if they set it down from 95% to 85%, it doesn't mean that you're not going to win on the machine. It's still over a lifetime of the machine, and that's why I don't think that they really mess with them that often, because it's just not worth the trouble and the paperwork and getting the gaming commission there to watch them do it. And I mean, can you just imagine going from machine to machine, removing the security tape, doing the changes, putting the tape back on, doing mountains of paperwork, you know, to get an extra percent for the next 6 months? Maybe, but I don't think they go through that trouble. But again,
Yes,
I can't say for
also,
sure. I can't say for sure. That's the one thing I will put out there.
Yes, and also I do feel that the post-pandemic casinos, they can be very. I feel that this can be very ripe for rumors, and this is I feel this is how rumors can really blossom and take off.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at the other side of that too. Like, if I were a casino, I would want to set them higher during COVID so that people will go tell their friends, hey, I just had a great time in Vegas, you know, come back. But, you know, that's just me. Who knows what they're doing? Oh, we are. This next question, we are going to do a series on this probably next week. Simon, let's go ahead and do it because this just keeps coming up about small illegal. Okay, so don't forget. Yeah, so stay out of small illegal game rooms, especially if you're in your great state of Texas like I am. They are blossoming. They are everywhere. Every city seems to have one at this point. Stay out of there. They are not regulated. They do not have to pay you if they don't want to. They continuously set everything to as low as it possibly can, the machine will allow. And there's nothing you can do. There is no way that you have protection. If a machine malfunctions or they refuse to pay you, you can't go to the cops. All they're going to do is come in there and seize the equipment, and then they're going to open up another store 5 miles away because the penalties are not high in Texas. So you have no protection. There's no oversight committee. There's nothing that protects you. And that's why gaming commissions exist, is for you, the player, more than it is for the casino. And you just have to be careful going into those places. I would not spend a dime in any of those. It's scary stuff. It's not worth it. It is definitely illegal. And if they tell you otherwise, they're wrong. The only way it's legal in Texas, for example, is if the machine can only pay back store credit, and maximum store credit is $5. That's it. They're called 8-liners. You can see them in some gas stations. Those are legal, but that's not what these guys are doing. The legal game rooms are not doing that. So just be careful.
Yeah,
I would not go in.
Yes, and in the game rooms, they can have all the new machines they want. And didn't you say last time that I remember you saying last time that when illegal game room people are buying machines, they're always asking about the highest payout and the highest payout percentage. And we do have some more. I definitely will talk about this in our game room show next week. Muskie Island says these mega progressive machines, multi-dollar wins. One machine is linked to a casino's audit program differently.
No, they're all programmed the same. You're probably talking about Megabucks. It's a wide area progressive, which is whenever You have local area progressives, which are local to the casino and can include multiple machines in the casino. And then you have wide area progressives. And those are the ones that are linked to multiple casinos. Megabucks is probably the biggest one, and it's linked to more casinos than anything else, including Wheel of Fortune, which is another wide area progressive game. So they're programmed all the same payback percentage. They're the general game, which I mean just the base game, not the progressive symbols, is lower. So because they have such a high progressive that they're going to be paying out, they have to juice it with something. And so the payback percentage is usually much lower on those machines than they are on just the standalone version. So yeah, if you want to play it to chase that big multi-million-dollar win, go for it. But don't, man, the odds of that are probably astronomical. Nobody knows who they are, but they do post the winners. And I think it's been a year or two since there's been a Megabucks winner. And just imagine how many people are playing that machine. You know, it takes a long time to hit that. So,
Yeah. And it is like so confusing and so knowing the one to play one. And James like asking, what about land-based casinos versus cruise casinos?
So I guess it depends on what you're asking. Like if payback is the same, or can you expect the same? Again, you don't really know unless you knew what the payback statistics were for those casinos, and I don't believe they're published anywhere, at least not that I'm aware of. So I can only really speak to statistics if they're published, and I don't know of any, so I can't really say. There has been so many rumors about cruise ships pay more. Cruise ships pay more. And then there's other rumors that say cruise ships are horrible places to gamble. I mean, it's just all over the place, so you can't really know for sure. But the same rules should apply that they do to land-based casinos. Go with your budget, have fun, don't expect a lot because you don't know what they're set at, what their percentages are, and they don't monkey with it within your cruise trip to say, you know, on the first day they're going to pay you better so that you'll lose all your money on the next days that you're on. Now that they got you on the cruise ship, they're going to take all your money. You know, that's not how they're built. They set them and they sit there. So that's all I can really say.
Yes, and there's like definitely some rumors that are going around that says that you don't that on cruise ships you're not as lucky as land-based. I'm thinking we should definitely do a show about cruise ship casinos because there's so many rumors, so many myths going on in all these videos.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to do it, but the problem is I don't know. And that's the thing. Like I don't know what the statistics are. And so because of that, I can't say one way or another where they are good places to play or not. I'll look to see if there are published, but I really don't. I've never seen anything like that for cruise ships. I'm sure I know they're regulated, but they're not regulated in the same way as land-based casinos. It's a whole nother ball game there. I can try to do some research on it and see if I can find anything, but I can't really talk to it right now because I don't have anything to say. So
that is totally understandable, and I'm actually interested in like researching and picking about cruise ship casinos.
Yep. Let's do one more question, and let's do this class 2, class 3 real quick, and then. So the question is from Alessandro, and what's the difference between class 2 and class 3 casinos? Oklahoma Casino Reviews he's in Oklahoma, so he knows this real well. Oklahoma is mostly class 2 facilities. Well, they're kind of a mix. But anyway, so class 2 they call them bingo style machines, and they're actually, the slot machines themselves are very simplistic. If you were to open one, it'd be mostly empty except for the reels and a small box, which is like a network box. And basically you're playing against a central server. So there's a server in the back room that is spitting out bingo numbers, kind of like an RNG, but it can be manipulated at any time. So they can set payback percentages higher in the morning, lower at night. They can monkey with all of that kind of stuff. And again, because most class 2 facilities are on Indian reservations, they do not publish payback stats or percentages. So you don't know. what they have those set at any given time or day. And so the way they work is that you basically spin the button, it pulls a bingo card. You can see it somewhere on the machine. There'll be a bingo card, and then you'll see the numbers that were picked by the server in the back room. And then the reels just spin based on the bingo card results. So you're playing bingo against the house. It's just like if you were to go to a bingo hall, except think of a bingo hall with thousands of people in it. It's kind of works that way. I would definitely not recommend playing those if you can avoid it. I think the odds are fair on Class 3 machines because they can only be set so low, and you're not playing against somebody in the back room that you don't know what they're setting the server to payback at. So yeah, you could still win. Don't get me wrong, and that's why those casinos like WinStar exist, because they're just filled with these bingo red screens, and those are the games that people play when they go there. But it's dangerous. Yeah, Oklahoma. Yeah, I know that there's a big mix because I've seen people on YouTube have both red screen and like the classic Class 3. And I've seen some Class 3 machines that have been converted to Class 2. I saw a Top Dollar once that had the bingo card on the display on the bottom left. I've never seen that before, but there you go. That's right. You are right. Yeah, you're playing against other players, but the computer is the one picking the number, the balls. But yeah, you're right.
Yes,
yeah, thanks for correcting me on that. Yep, you're right.
And also, I also do seeing in some Class 2 casinos that they actually have Dragon Link bingo, and sometimes you cannot even play that machine if there's not enough players playing it.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I think they probably, and I don't know this for sure, but I bet Class 2 facilities, they bank on a certain number of people playing at all times. And I don't know what changes. I would imagine the more people playing, the more rapid the balls are being spit out, from the computer in the back. So, it's strange. I don't know a whole lot about them. I just know kind of the general division there. I think Oklahoma Casino Review Slots, we'll have to get him on here to explain what that Class 2 is. So if you want to be a future guest, let's have you on.
I would love to have you on because you have so much good knowledge about Class 2 machines. I'm very interested to hear everything you got to say.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we got to wrap it up. I need dinner here.
All right.
We had a great show, though. Absolutely good. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And we will see you on the next video. I think we'll talk about illegal gaming rooms and what that means for you next Monday. So we do this show every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Time. So make sure you set your calendars and come back, and we will see you soon. Sounds good, Oklahoma Casino Review Slots.
All right. See you next Monday. And I'll be coming from Denmark at 1 a.m. because I don't sleep. We're going to party. Nice to see you.
That sounds good.
And also thank you, James, and anybody who I missed. So see you next Monday. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a good week, everybody.